Today is 14th of January 2025. Yesterday I talked about the Sabhava Lakkhana, individual or personal characteristics of physicalities and mentalities, and regarding the individual characteristics of physicalities and mentalities, I mainly talk the individual natures of four elements, the main four elements, main four physicalities, and I talk their individual natures, and I talk some individual natures of mind and mental factors. When we observe physical objects, we try to know the individual natures of the physicalities as hardness, softness, roughness, warmness, coolness, stiffness, tension, tightness, and then flowing sensation, heaviness, lightness, movements, vibration, and so on. There are many. These are just a few examples. And when we observe the mind also, we try to know the different types of mind, different types of mentalities arising one after another, and swiftly arising, passing away, or in super fast manner. I also told yesterday, to see these individual natures, we don't need to do anything, we just need to observe presently arising object continuously. We should not try to look for, we should not try to search, but just to observe presently arising object with ardent energy and accurate aiming. If we observe continuously, automatically these individual natures become obvious. When this first characteristic is seen or experienced, discovered by meditators, and continue to practice, meditators come to see the second characteristics, that is called as Sankhata Lakkhana. Sankhata Lakkhana, in English condition or conditional characteristic. Conditional characteristics means the three phases. The three phases of each individual characteristics, that is arising, staying for a while, and disappearing. We call them in Pali Uppada. Uppada means appearance, arising or occurrence. Uppada. Then second is Thiti. Thiti. First is Uppada, second is Thiti. Thiti means staying for a while, or we can also translate as continuation to disappear, continuation for disappear, that is Titi. And the last one is Bhanga. Bhanga means disappearance. So these three moments or the three phases are called as conditional characteristic. All the individual characteristic has these three moments. Hardness also have these three moments. Softness also has these three moments. Tension, tightness, stiffness, warmness, coolness, heaviness, lightness. Then if we talk about mind, mind also has these three phases or the moments. Anger also has these three moments. Greed also has these three moments. So all the individual characteristics have these three conditions or three moments or the three phases. So that's why called as conditional characteristic. That means at the beginning, yogis, meditators, they just see hardness as hardness, softness as softness, tension as tension, and so on. As they continue to practice, they come to see appearance of the hardness and staying for a while, and dissolving or disappearance of the hardness. Hardness rising, staying for a while, then disappearing. Softness also appearing. Yogis notice appearance of the hardness, continuations of the hardness or softness, and the dissolving of softness. Similarly, if it is about the mind or the mental factor, at the beginning they just see anger, just anger as anger, greed as greed. As they continue, they come to see appearance of the anger, continuation for a short while, and dissolving or the disappearance of the anger. At the early stage of seeing the conditional characteristics, yogi may not see all these three moments at once. At the beginning, yogis see partially. Maybe at times they just see staying for a while. They don't see appearance of hardness, but they notice hardness, then they see the dissolving. Two moments of the conditional characteristics. Sometimes maybe one moment, appearance, they see appearance but don't see continuation, or may see continuation but don't see disappearance. In this way, one, two, or all three of them, they see partially at the early stage of this conditional characteristic, and as they continue, later they come to notice or they come to realize all these three moments are the phases of the conditional characteristics. So in this way, slowly, yogis come to see the appearance, continuation, and disappearance of all the individual natures of physicalities and the mentalities. And again, as yogis, meditators continue to practice, now they don't see the middle phase or the middle moment, the second moment of the conditional characteristics. That means the continuation or the staying for a while. They will not see anymore. Means they will see just appearance and disappearance. Appearance and disappearance. They see harness appearing, immediately disappearing. So no more seeing the continuation or staying for a while. Softness also appearing and immediately disappearing. If anger also appearing, disappearing. Greed also appearing, disappearing. So the middle one, continuation or the staying for a while, yogis will not see anymore. At the beginning or the early stage of seeing appearance and the disappearance, it might be slow, but as yogis improve, as the mindfulness concentration gets stronger, then it becomes faster. Rising and the passing away become faster. Whatever object yogis observe, they see appearing, disappearing. Hardness appearing, disappearing. Softness appearing, disappearing. Warmness, coolness, whatever. Regarding the mind also, noting mind, appearing, disappearing. Observing mind, appearing, disappearing. Energetic mind, appearing, disappearing. Anger, appearing, disappearing. Greed, appearing, disappearing, and so on. The speed of the appearance and the disappearance become faster and faster as concentration deepens. The number of the objects yogis realize which are appearing, disappearing also increase. Like at the beginning, maybe appearance and the disappearance of one object at one moment. Then later, at one moment, discovering appearing, disappearing of two objects. Then 3 objects, 4 objects, 5, 6. In this way, the numbers of the objects also increase until, like at times, it becomes uncountable number of the objects appearing and disappearing within a second, within a moment. In the abdomen also, they come to see in this way. If they observe other sensations in other parts of the body during sitting, they see in this way. If it is walking meditation and movements of the legs also, they see. If they observe mind, then mind and the mental phenomena are also appearing, disappearing in this way. And daily activities, when they perform the activities in those performances as well, they come to see in this way. As the meditators, discover, explore appearance and the disappearance of physicalities, mentalities in this way, then automatically they realize the impermanence of physicalities and mentalities. Now, this knowledge is not the contemplating knowledge. Yogis don't need to contemplate. Yogis don't need to contemplate, don't need to think about the impermanence. Automatically they realize, or knowledge into impermanence develops when they see the rapid appearance and the disappearance of physical and mental phenomena. When they discover impermanence, automatically they will discover about the sufferings, unsatisfactoriness, that is dukkha, because everything is appearing, disappearing. It is like borning and dying, appearance and disappearance. So, unsatisfactoriness automatically become obvious, dukkha, and selflessness, absence of self, also become obvious automatically, that is anatta. Once impermanence is seen or discovered, then automatically dukkha, suffering, unsatisfactoriness and absence of self, anatta, will be seen. Impermanence, unsatisfactoriness and selflessness are the three natures which are common or related with all the physicalities and mentalities, which belongs to all the physicalities and the mentalities. So that is why these three characteristics are called as common characteristics. These three natures are called common characteristics, and this is the third one. That means harness is impermanent, harness is suffering, and harness is selflessness. Softness also impermanent, unsatisfactory, and the absence of self. So whatever individual nature we pick up, it is impermanent and unsatisfactoriness and selflessness. You will discover. If we talk about the mind, then same. So in this way, all the physicalities, all the mentalities has these three natures, so called common characteristics or universal. Universal means whatever exists in this universe, these three natures are common to all those universal things. The first one is, as we talk, harness. That harness is only the quality of earth element. It is only belongs to earth element. That's why it is individual, personal. But impermanence is not the personal one. Unsatisfactoriness is not personal. Selflessness is not personal. Belongs to all the physicalities, mentalities, or related to all the physicalities, mentalities, hence called common characteristics. seeing or comprehending the three common characteristics is our first priority, is our very first goal to attain or to gain. So I think we all have this desire to see the impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and the selflessness. That is also why we are practicing meditation. So here you should understand that to see the impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and the selflessness, first you have to see the second characteristics, that is sankhata lakhana, conditional characteristics. Without seeing conditional characteristic, you will not discover the third one. And again, to see the second characteristics, first you have to see the individual characteristics, sabhava lakhana. Without seeing first, you will not see second. Without seeing second, you will not see third one. And again, to see the first one, we don't need to do anything. We just need to observe the presently arising object with ardent energy and accurate aiming, as we observe repeatedly again and again, mostly like consistently, without any gap, interval. When we observe, then automatically we come to see the first one, the individual nature, then after second one, then after third one. So this is the way to go, whether you practice in the meditation center or whether you practice at home, wherever you practice this technique, this method. This is the route to go. This is the track. You should not divert from this track. Whether you practice under a teacher, whether because of not having teacher, when you practice by yourself, you should not go out of this track. If you go out of this track, then you will not get the destination. Try not to, don't expect to directly see the impermanence or unsatisfactoriness and selflessness. Who has less knowledge, less idea about the practice, they directly want to get knowledge into impermanence. So I see impermanence, I see suffering, I see anatta, selflessness. We can't go like that. So after knowing these three characteristics, three natures, now you have to understand, when you report or when you practice, let's say when you observe rising and falling, not in this retreat, but I have met those yogis who said in abdomen, when I observe, I see intestine, like a bone, blood, whatever exists in the abdomen, they say they saw like that. So after hearing the three characteristics, those are not the things to share, and those are not the things to see. Natures, Characteristics are to see, to discover. I have met those yogis who had said, "Oh, I saw lotus, and lotus standing Buddha or sitting Buddha." Then afterward, sometimes like I stand sitting on my head like that, or flying on the sky. So this kind of experience I have heard. So these are just the imagination. They spend in this imagination for a long period of time. They enjoy whenever they see like a lotus or the Buddha. They create like a story. They make so many stories in the imagination, and they even think it is real. And they think, when they keep thinking like that, they see like that, they think they make improvement. They had made improvement in the practice. Those who like about the lotus, they think about the lotus. Those who like the images of the Buddhas, they imagine about the Buddha's statues, images. Again, those who like the bright light. There are yogis who like bright light. They really like, because they think whenever they see bright light, oh, they are doing such a great, they are improving in the meditation. So they like bright lights, and they dive into the bright lights, and inside the bright light they describe what they see inside the bright lights, many other extra bright lights or different colors also changing this way, that way. So they describe like that. These images, these pictures, these thinkings are nothing to do with the three natures. We have just mentioned the three characteristics. So those are nothing to do with the three characteristics and nothing to do with the Vipassana knowledge. So that's why this is, I didn't hear in this retreat, but I have heard before. So this is in order to remind the yogis, I am talking about this. Colors, images, pictures, they are just the concepts. They are not the realities. And I have told you, when we practice Vipassana, concept is nothing to do with Vipassana. Meditative object of Vipassana is reality, not the concept. So, in this Vipassana meditation, concept has no place. So those are just the concept. But during the practice, without any intention, we may see different images unexpectedly, unconsciously, suddenly we might see different types of images. Some are quite amazing, some are so-so, some are terrifying images as well. Suddenly, those kind of images, pictures may appear in our mind. So our duty is again to note. Try not to involve in those images. As soon as you see something, note seeing immediately. And just note for a while. You don't need to analyze what image, what picture, what color in that way. You don't need to think, you don't need to analyze. You have to stop your mind just in seeing, just seeing. Don't care about what you see, what image, don't care. And note only for a few seconds, then come back to the physical and the mental object. Yesterday also, when I talked about the individual natures, characteristics, I mentioned before seeing the individual natures, we might see a form or the manner of the physical objects, and we can't avoid them. We can't avoid at the beginning of the practice or until the real natures become obvious, we can't avoid. But later, when true natures become obvious enough, the concept, they are concept, the form, manner are concept. When the true natures become obvious, then the concept automatically will subside. Concept automatically will subside. That's why intentionally yogis should not try to know about the form or the manner, but if automatically yogis knows, then let the mind know, and you don't need to try to know in detail about those form, those pattern, those manner as well. We don't try to know in detail. With sensation, with individual natures, we try to know in detail. Like when we see harness, we try to know in detail what is happening to that harness, increasing, decreasing, or dissolving, or what is happening to that harness. We try to know, but with pattern, with manner, which are concept, we don't try to know in detail. That's why those yogis who have been experiencing the sensation, individual natures, they should try more in order to know in detail about those sensations. Like if harness is obvious, then try to know what is happening to that harness. Whether the harness increase, whether the harness decrease in intensity. In intensity, whether it becomes more and more harder, or whether the harness, intensity of the harness decrease or less harder, or whether it continues in same intensity, whether it changes the location, whether it moves one place to another place, whether it is shifting, whether it is dissolving or defading or disappearing. So many things to know. These are just the examples. So whether it is hardness, whether it is softness, tension, tightness, warmness, coolness, whatever sensation become obvious, whether it is in sitting meditation, whether in abdomen or in other parts of the body, or whether it is in the movements of the leg. Yogis should try to know in detail about those sensations. And that is also why when sensations become obvious in abdomen, means at the beginning we observe rising, falling. As the mindfulness gets better, concentration gets better, yogis come to see, yogis will see the sensation in the abdomen. At the beginning, not so obvious, later sensations become quite obvious. At times, more obvious than the rising and falling. So if sensations are more obvious than rising and falling, At that time, you don't need to label rising, falling. You can just focus into that sensation. Like hardness is quite obvious on the right side of the abdomen or center of the abdomen. So stop labeling rising, falling. You can just focus into the hardness and can label hard, 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 so that you can penetrate into that hardness, so that you can dive into that hardness, and will be helpful to know the second characteristics, that is appearance, continuation and disappearance, and later to see the appearance and the disappearance, so that you have to just focus into that sensation when sensation become obvious. But in walking meditation, though the sensation become obvious, you still need to keep labeling as right, left, lifting, dropping, lifting, moving and dropping. But you may pay most attention to that location or to that place where the sensation is obvious. This is how we practice in order to know the three nature or the characteristics of physicality and mentality. So that's why I have already mentioned, and I would like to repeat again, this is the route, this is the way to walk, this is the path in Vipassana meditation. So let not go yourself on the wrong track. If you haven't seen the individual natures, try your best to see the individual natures by observing presently arising object continuously. If you have seen some, then try to see more. Seeing few is not yet enough, you have to see many. So try to see many, not only in sitting. I repeat, not only in sitting, you have to see in walking, you have to try to see in walking, in daily activities. If you have already seen, then continue your practice. Try means energy. From the very first day we have been talking about the energy, because without energy we can't move forward. So trying means apply again energy. Be energetic enough in order to know, to see the second characteristic. And if you have seen the second one, then try for the third one, the third characteristics. So this is the way to go. That's why may you all be able to do so, and step by step may you be able to see individual characteristics, conditional characteristics and common characteristics, and by seeing common characteristics may you be able to develop knowledge into impermanence, unsatisfactoriness and selflessness.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.